Hi and welcome to another CSD Fantasy YouTube video. I thought since there's been so much talk about Tony Romo to the Texans that I would look into what that would mean for fantasy. So let's dig in. As we see from this chart, Romo is not really a deep slinger. He tends to pass shorter passes with high accuracy. His most targeted area is the short left zone. There's also where he gains the most amount of yards from. He's pretty consistent in the deeper zones in the amount of yards he gets, even though the middle sees less love. When looking at his accuracy, however, we see that the deep middle zone is his most accurate deep zone, while the short middle pass is his best one overall. He sees some difficulties throwing outside the numbers on the deeper balls, but nothing too alarming. Shown here is the Texans target distribution of their 5 most targeted players. They love using the right side of the field, both deep and short. However, they gain the most yards when they play the ball short to the left. 1% difference isn't that big of a deal, but it is noteworthy. The 15% of yards, however, of only 8% of the targets is very interesting. It's pretty significant difference we can see there. And with this information, we can now look how Romo would fit the Texans. So looking at the synergy, Romo passes short to left on 31% of all his throws. He gains 23% of all his yards when thrown into that area. He also has a 72% incompletion when throwing that way. This is synergizes well with the Texans. They gain the yards mainly from the same area. This combination could be deadly if Romo goes there. The bad, on the other hand, is the deep right area. That's a zone that the Texans target 8% of all their throws and gain 15% of all their yards. This is not one of their best areas, but it's their favorite deep zone, and Romo does not hit on half of his targets throwing that way. Keep in mind that 30% of those targets used to go to Des Bryant, so not reaching 50 is not that good. As shown earlier, Romo gains 21% of his yards from throwing short over the middle with a 78% completion. The Texan who would gain the most from this would be CJ Fiedorowicz. 35% of his targets are in the short middle zone, and he gains almost half of his yards from catches caught there. The biggest mismatch is with Romo and Jalen Strong. Romo only throws to the deep right 7% of the time, and he has his second worst completion percentage there. The deep right area is where Jalen Strong gains 40% of his yards from. He might be the only guy who does not greatly improve with Romo under center. I want to finish this video by looking at how Romo would impact DeAndre Hopkins. He has played a year with Osweiler and did not live up to expectations at all. And Nuke gets the most amount of targets in the short left zone, where it so happens to be that Osweiler has a better completion percentage than Romo. Other than that, Romo completes almost twice as many of his deep passes in all areas as Osweiler, and on average 4% more in shorter zones. This would lead to a huge impact in fantasy and especially in PPR. I want to thank you for watching. Please leave a thumbs up and subscribe. Everything is super appreciated. Check out my Instagram and Twitter for more charts and numbers. I post the links in the bio. You can also go to CSD Fantasy's website for more fantasy numbers, and the spreadsheets are dark and full of terror.